Good morning, everyone, or actually good afternoon, everyone. Let's go ahead and take a deep breath. Sending lots of love and blessings. I am Ha. I am Ha. I am Ha. And so it is. Okay, everyone. Hope everyone's doing really well. I again have a 4D, 5D, 6D read and a twin flame read. And boy, did messages come through in a very historical, researchy way today. So I did the union read yesterday at 11:44 a.m. For the 4D, 5D, 6D. And this was going from the 14th yesterday to the 15th today. And 11:44 is also, they're both power numbers. 11 is justice, 44 is the Four of Cups, grounding, integrating, and mastering of love. In the numerology book, the Divine Triangle, it's also considered the number of Atlas, the 44. And the underlying energies, I'm going to show you the pictures first. Okay, so here's the 4D, 5D, 6D read. 4D is the bottom row, 5D middle row, 6D, the left is the feminine, the right is the masculine, the bridge between them is in the middle, the incoming divine feminine, the outgoing divine masculine, the underlying energies, and the completion of the read over here. And then I want to show you that too. This is part of the research that I did, and I'll get to that in a minute. So here's the twin flame read. This is the SIRIAN STARSEED deck for both reads. That's the main deck. And then the full 7-deck read here that you see in front of you for the twin flames. It is a general reading. If something doesn't resonate with you, don't force it to fit your situation. If you want something more specific to you, you can always check out my information below as well as on my website, twinflames3344.com. And so we're going to get right into the read. And I'll show you those pictures that came up when they come up in my read. All right, so the underlying energy that came up first was the Ace of Wands. The inspiration, feeling ignited, perhaps feeling like a fire was lit under your butt. Then the center of the read is the Ace of Cups, 2 aces, and then the closing card was the Star. Some really potent energy there for a new start. The passion ignited, love overflowing. The stars are out. This way, follow me. I'm serious, or Sirius, the constellation. The Pleiades, Pleiades, or ease and grace. Arcturians, arc 2 are connections. Ions is connections, and also arc 2 is the twin bridges. And that came up. I was just going through some stuff of my dad's with my nephew, and Twin Cities just came up. This was just like an hour ago. So the twin bridges are very significant here. Connections, and also Arcturus is the RS of the twin bridges. The Andromedans and Rho Ma Dans, and D-A-N-S is in French, but also can represent the name Dan if anyone's dealing with the name Dan. And Rho Ma Dans, or Andromedans. 3 aces here. Now all we need is the diamond in the rough, or the Ace of Pentacles. The flame and heart, Atlantis and Lemuria, combined as Egypt in space plasma, ethers. Or again, I would say plasma is like please ma, and then ethers is the AE of the ash, and then THERS of ethers is theirs. Ash, which is there, then tars come up. Ashtar was coming up here. So please ma, ashtars, or ash is theirs. The command is ours. Combining healing and light, shaman and star, highlights and the AE ashing. Ash tops the cake, which is fluffy and light, and tar is sticky and hard to get rid of at the bottom. So please ma, plasma, Let us, or lettuce comes up today as well. Let us eat cake. And then CA and KE were coming up of cake. And CA was coming up as California key, but also that the CA means belt, band, sling, to adjoin, fasten, some, roast, dog, K, the house or fence, to be in a location, bad, evil, base, vile, naughty, direful, pernicious, ruined, destroyed, badness, illness, calamity, harm, circa. Then, this, dish, people, person, tea, what, that, who, which, then, because, then, call, summon, drive, go on, proceed, knock, or push, can't redirect, dunno, what did I write there? Oh, denotes incredulity or negation, oh no, because, house, circa, to whom, to which, what, a gong, to sing, to praise, to scold, case, shift, to get, receive, have, and be allowed, all come up as the CA. Then the KE comes up for me as very much an energy. It's also the key. It also means smoke, food, bat, you, where, towards, that dream, that tale, that, the, that, to, whom, who, which, that, then, liver, to want, to wish, to love, to like, because female flows out when sleeping. Honey, not, sometimes, occasionally, ever dare to just let him try. This all came up under the definition, and that last just let him try was an example under the definition right there. So there's definitely messages there just within the definitions themselves. But let them eat cake. Cake has 2 letters in it that look different but sound the same, along with the AE, which is ash, and splitting up the ashes, as I'm going to be taking my parents' ashes out west, as I'm about to toss those ashes, and the incoming divine feminine energy comes up here as 5/8 or 5 hearts, 8 offices, or the dance, of course, inspired or lined up along the beach, 4 up of 2 kids, perhaps you're coming together with a group of 8. The beach, the desert, 1 and water, without the King of Swords. It's like the beach and the desert, that 1 is with water and 1 is without. And the King of Swords, master of the decrescendo, right? The ending of the story, or catching up at the last minute, where the land meets the sea, walking away and within from the King of Swords at night at 12:20. And then at 12:21, we go into the 4D, which is the reason or the emperor, the 10 of Swords, and the 7 of Wands. The divine feminine reason, or Santa Claus, transmuting the emperor with high hat, so that the symbol of the upside down V, it's like the masculine doesn't need more than that to protect his crown. Ray's sun from reason, Ray's sun, the sun's sun, right? Because Ray is the sun and the sun. So we have the sun's sun, the double sun, the rays turned on, the divine masculine, fending off drama to keep the coast clear, Middle East belly dancer, tiny dancer in my hand, Tinkerbell. And then I was getting major like connect there at 12:26 between the hangman and the page of wands with the 12:26 there. So bridging in the 4D here by ending pain, by leaving behind that 3D to 4D energy here, or realm. The 12:27, 27 being that Ace of Wands, standing up and stretching to release all those pent-up energies. The divine masculine on the divine feminine side, like a father whose past may be lending a fiery hand, metalwork perhaps, or a new invention, perhaps passing down something, perhaps to help with arthritis or pain in general, or General Patton was coming up here. Now, I don't know, I'm dating myself here, but when I watched General Patton in the movie when I was a little girl, we watched in the drive-in theater, boy, did his presence up on that screen make a big impact, and it was that kind of energy coming up. So some kind of invention coming through. And it was very interesting because my nephew's in the medical field, and he was just here today to get some of my dad's stuff. I wanted him to go through some of my dad's stuff because my dad was in the medical field as well. So something about inventions coming up, perhaps to help with arthritis or pain, or in general, or general patent, which then brings up patenting. So somebody might be dealing with a patent. And then we have the 5D here of the Ace of Orbs, the Ace of Chalices, and the 5 of Cups. The Divine Feminine Lemurian, ready to play ball. And by the way, the general patent was, they were guiding me to write down a big one on the screen. So I don't know if that means something to somebody, but it may. So the Lemurian ready to play ball, a plum buoy, or a boy who's plump. The truth on the tip of your tongue, the sweetness, where the sides are sour and the back is bitter, and in calm waters here. The Divine Masculine in the woods hiding their face, or a daughter is unable to look up at the 2 of Cups after tossing 3 in the lily pad pond. Bridging with an outpouring of love, the Holy Grail, making a splash from sea to shining sea, or bi-coastal here. From the creek to the deep blue sea to aquamarine love, catapulted from below, offering unconditional love to all. In the 6D is the King of Pentacles, the Knight of Pentacles, and the 10 of Pentacles. The Divine Feminine with the King of Pentacles, or she's manifesting the King of Pentacles in the 6D, and or Akashic Records here with the crystal skull without the lower jaw, unable to speak. In 6D, you don't need to. Telepathy and heart bath, direct connect, and the crown open wide. The Divine Masculine with the 10 of Pentacles, family, business, or community, manifesting their dream with the crystal secret garden, and the peachy woman with peacock and pagoda, which is Buddha energy, with pointy cap, the emperor, and or a natural gazebo to house the rainbow crystal works. She manifesting him, and he the home and her, bridging with the Knight of Pentacles proposal each day in the city of white buildings, or like Disney every day. In Never Never Land, but Ever Ever Land. And then Ever Ever together comes up as Eve River, or Eve River, or River's Edge. Eve Bright Husband or Wake. And then in that, plugging in my name to represent the Divine Feminine for everyone. And also Eve honors blood or wake. So that could be going to a funeral or honoring someone who's passed away. So some definitions just came up there. Regarding the Divine Feminine, in a village, under the sky, in somebody's ear, or really listening, in the afternoon at the shore, perhaps a grassy spot, which was very interesting. I just went outside after visiting with my nephew to ground a little bit, and there was a baby bird in the grass that I talked to and sent some healing their way, and then they walked away. So I guess they were looking for their mom. They weren't tiny. They kind of were almost full size, but they definitely didn't have all of their hair yet and that kind of stuff. He was so sweet, just sitting there in the grass. But finding a grassy spot by the sea, the Divine Feminine, at an earlier time, with true springs eternal, to feel, mint, strike, or plant, to create something new. So a lot of definitions came up right there. So I'm not going to read you all of that because there's a lot of definitions there. But then I was getting it at 114, which is the Magician, and the 14 of the Temperance card, the higher love, the angels. The cards were coming up as, under the Divine Feminine, Santa's pet is a dolphin. And then I was getting Plum skull, because this is coming from the pictures, and I've looked at them a million times, but I never got this interpretation before. So I was guided to look up Plum skull, and guess what I found? It took me right to Plum Island. So I don't know how many of you know about Plum Island, but I was about to learn about Plum Island here. So first I want you to understand what guided me to Plum Island was a dolphin and a plum-colored ball, as well as the crystal skull above it from this union read here. This is from the unexplainedmysteries.com website. Lab 257 was coming up. The Secrets of Plum Island. So 10 miles off Connecticut, rumored to be the epicenter of top secret bio warfare research, the U.S. government acknowledges it's a home to scientific facility. And right at this time, at 1:25, there was a bird tweeting and had just tapped the window at 1:26. And 1:25 is that eighth energy, and 1:25 to 26 is the Knight of Wands to the Page of Wands, that very inspired energy. So this U.S. government acknowledges that it's a scientific facility, but of course they don't give up what's really going on there. So studies on animals and animal-borne disease is being done there, and that's where Lyme disease is stemming from. So from security breaches in the germ labs to escaped diseases and potential mass epidemics, the real story, but the government denies, run by the German Erich Traub, who was brought here after World War II, specializing in the Third Reich, was a virus and vaccine research specialist to help jumpstart the Cold War against the Soviet Union. Okay, this is an island right off the northeast coast. A project to recruit German scientists and techs in this is Operation Paperclip. They weren't supposed to have an SS affiliation initially, according to the president's order at the time, but because the Nazis promoted top scientists, they whitewashed their past in order to get them in the U.S. So Traub's specialty was the tick carried by birds. Called quote-unquote vectors, ticks and mosquitoes are generally similar in that respect. Both contain the bacteriophages or plasmids that transfer genetic material into a cell or back and forth, back to back, or can infect any host animal, and then, of course, times millions. So in Building 257, which is where the number comes from, building number 257 on Plum Island is a metonym for the entire site in 2004. Lyme disease originated at Plum Island per Michael Carroll, who was an attorney who wrote a book, as well as how several means by which the animal diseases could have left the island, birds carrying ticks back and forth, etc. July 12, 2008, Montauk monster was washed ashore at Ditch Plains Beach near Montauk, New York. Quadrupled of an indeterminate size, was dead when discovered and assured to have come here from Plum Island. So here's that first animal that washed up on the shore. Okay, so take a good look at that. Just so you know, there's another animal that's going to be coming up too, and there's a picture of another animal that washed up on the shore. Okay, so, and they're all from the same website. So both this animal, they think, may have been part raccoon. Some say the upper jaw was a beak or a hybrid monster. So the island was actually mentioned in the movie Silence of the Lambs, where Lecter refers to the island as quote-unquote Anthrax Island. Pakistani neuroscientist Ifia Siddiqui suspected Al-Qaeda member was investigated, or was, well, she definitely was being investigated here, but this was back in Afghanistan, July 2008, and she had in her notes in her bag mass casualty attack that listed various U.S. locations, including Plum Island, as the disease center, the animal disease center. And in 1952, quote-unquote tick research, and the files with vigorous, well-planned, large-scale biological warfare tests with results to the Secretary of Defense, making some adequate making sure that adequate facilities were available, including Fort Detrick, during can't read what the other location here, but Fort Terry comes up here, and Plum Island was one of the places listed on here, and Island Field Testing Area. So 1157, anti-animal agent-munition combos should continue, as well as field testing of anti-food agent nutrition combinations here. So this is all the stuff that was in her purse about Plum Island and what they were doing. So at 147 here, which is the Magician and the Seven of Cups, in the 1970s, a mysterious disease in Old Lyme, Connecticut, fatigue, muscle aches, inability to focus, and of course blamed on deer ticks. And Traub was an expert in, they were investigating foot and mouth disease regarding cattle and pigs. So in the 80s, the infected bacteria was isolated as Borrelia, and only the third microbial gene ever sequenced after the flu and a rare form of herpes, most complex bacteria known to man, and may have been attributed to schizophrenia, psychosis, severe osteoarthritis, lupus, bladder issues, and bipolar, vertigo, delusions, encephalitis, infection of the brainstem, and perhaps multiple sclerosis as well. Some samples they found dated back to the late 40s and 50s when Traub was infecting ticks on Plum Island. James McCoy, who was mentioned there, he was a maintenance worker on Plum Island who complained of shoddy security and was fired after complaining. It said that 2002, the power in the labs failed and energy generators were unable to pick up the load. So 4 hours they were trying to seal the doors of building 257 with duct tape that doesn't stop microscopic particles. And that's where the section about monsters and mutants comes up here. There was a drawing of a human body with elongated fingers washed up on Long Island, I guess along with this body, on True TV, the summer of 2008. And, you know, whether it's an animal or not, I don't know what it is, right? So this washed up onto the shore. So patches of hair and dinosaur-like skull and matchstick-shaped fingers, 10 miles from Plum Island. Quick denials came in from Plum Island, now operated by the Department of Homeland Security, but this wasn't the only one. In 2009 at Montauk, a similar and never explained by an independent zoologist, of course, because they swept it away right away. In January 2010, a human bodya, mutated human body, had been found by workers on the island with very elongated fingers again. Symmetrical holes were drilled into their skull. The first first they reported this was a white man, and then they changed it to a black man, and that was at 204, High Priestess and the Emperor. So I was getting guided by the dolphin, and so the messages that were coming in from me was either the dolphins were actually part of the hybrid scheme here with these animals, or the dolphin was actually the one who pushed the bodies to the shore so the humans would find them. So the divine masculine here is tangoing above the fires or battling them, fending them off, and finally cooling down in the woods after all was lost and couldn't look up, or home, someone's home may burn down, or just lost, and the fire starter was the Queen of Wands trying to get the family inheritance or something like that. Fire starter versus the cups, right? This is Atlas versus Lemuria energy. Fire starter versus cups and crying, the emotional side. The dream family that would rise above all this drama. So going through the drama and the purging to transmute all this drama. The bridge being the ending of pain or a painful ending, the experimentation on the spine and chakra system, projected out of the ocean with love from the dolphins for the Knight of Pentacles to catch and make something of it. Or Grecian formula was coming up here. I don't know whether that had to do with the hair or Greece. And then 257 came up. So when I went to put in Grecian 257, of course Grecian formula came up, but also the 25th Greek island, because apparently That was something online that went viral about the 25th Greek island. It just ended up being a new way of asking a question about something. And so the 25th Greek island was very famous recently, and that's Amorgos, which a lot of people refer to as Among Us. So, which is a game. So Among Us is a game. So this 25th island in Greece was being connected to this meme and the game. So it was just a big joke that came out. But then I was guided to the Greek islands where Kos Island relies, and my father's nickname was Kos. So, and K and C were coming up with the word cake, so they were guiding me to Kos Island because it can be spelled with a K or a C. At 227 is the high priestess, and the 27 again of the Ace of Wands, that ignition of the Ace of Fire. So Kos Island is part of the Dodecanese chain, the third largest, Southeast Asian Sea, and again I was noting a lot of words here with the ash symbol in it, the AE, they're joined together. The Aegean Sea with Rhodes and Carpathos, the other two. The population, get this one here, of Kos is 33388, right? And the 38 is the Queen of Cups. And this was from the 2011 census. The second most populated island, and it's 25 by 5 miles. So here comes up that 25th island again thing. The main town is Kos Town, and they're called Kohans. I just got that now, right? Koan or Kohans, the co-pilots. That comes up as the, the masters, the guides, the co-pilots of the journey here. The coast at Kos Island is 70 miles. 70 is the Two of Pentacles, going from west to east, which also spells we. The time zone is UTC plus 2 hours and then 3 in the summer. The postal code being 853 with the area code being 22420, which is the Fool and the Two of Cups. And the 853 is written that way, 53/8, which is the catapult or the sudden event, the Knight of Swords or the Knight in shining armor rushing in, the messenger of truth. And the vehicle plates come up as KX, PO, and PK. The temperature ranges from 48 to 88. So there's the twins dancing of the 88. Now, one of three, Dikaios, I'm probably not saying their names right, but that's all right, and Heracleides and Kos were the initial island, one of three. The primary visitors to Kos are from the UK and Scandinavians. Crops, grapes, almonds, figs, olives, tomatoes, wheat, and corn, where Kos lettuce is supposed to be the place that romaine originated from, which I would never have known that, is named after the island from which it originated, said to have been visited by Hercules, as well as many others. Wine and silk manufacturing and female slaves back in the day. In the Hellenistic age, it was a medical school. Alexander the Great ruled there, and Cleopatra deposited gold there, and Herod provided a stipend annually to benefit athletic games. The library was constructed due to the Kos doctor, Gaius Stertinius Xyloplon, who lived in Rome as a personal physician to the emperors Tiberius, Claudius, and Nero. And in 1337, instead of the Knights Templar, the Knights Hospitaller, so Hospitalier, I'm not sure how they pronounce it, but the Knights Hospitaller took over the island. In 1912, the Italians, after the Italian-Turkish War in World War II, part of the Italian Axis, AXIS, the Italians surrendered in 1943. The Germans executed the Italians in the Battle of Kos. Germans then took over the island until 1945, and then the UK, which ceded the island to Greece in 1947 following the Paris Peace Treaty. The island is part of the mountain chain separated after earthquakes in ancient times. The remnants include the islands of Kalymnos and Kapari, and Nizaros and Volcano Islands, and surrounding littler islands as well, were separated underwater in underwater chasms. So there were fossils found within those chasms of horses, hippos, and elephants, including a giant elephant molar. The castle there was a 14th century fortress, at the entrance to its harbor, erected in 1315 by, again, the Knights Hospitaller. The Egyptian blue pigment workshop was there as well, excavated mosaic floors. The floors that were excavated had pictures of beast fights. And Hippocrates was thought to be born on Kos. In the center of town's plain, free of Hippocrates, a dream temple where he thought to have taught there. The International Hippocratic Institute and the museum dedicated to him there. And the book, quote-unquote, Kos City came up there with Swords of Kos Fantasy campaign setting, along with that title. And then they were guiding me to Hog Island. So do any of you know what Hog Island is? Well, as soon as I closed out of that last Greek island, the Philadelphia island, Hog Island, came up. And I'm from Philadelphia, and I couldn't remember what Hog Island was. So in southeast Tinicum Township, along the Delaware River, to the west of the mouth of the Schuylkill River, which is now the Philadelphia International Airport, so God knows what's below the airport or what kind of secret tunnels are there, was the largest shipyard in the world in 1917. This was around World War I with Wilson, and there were cargo ships being built there, so they were experimenting in standardizing construction of ships, and it was called Hog Islanders. Many were used in World War II, and then train cranes developed there also, went to the city of Trenton, which still are there as historic figures there still. In 1925, it became a training field for pilots, and in 1927, a site dedicated to the Philadelphia Municipal Airport by Charles Lindbergh, who flew on the Spirit of St. Louis. So again, this may have been the area where the Philadelphia experiments were done. You might want to look that up. 1930s, the Philadelphia bought the airport from the federal government, and in 1937 they started building and then opened it 6/20/1940. And before that, they used to use the Camden Central Airport. So Italians working there in the Navy Yard had introduced none other than the hoagie sandwich with meats and cheeses and lettuce. And then they called it the Hog Island sandwich, which is where hoagie comes from. You know, the meat, cheeses, and lettuce between two slices of bread. So then I looked up the Knights Hospitalier or Knights Hospitaller. I don't know how they pronounce it. But it's literally the word hospital with L-E-R on the end. It's the Order of Hospital of St. John of Jerusalem, the Knights of Rhodes, Malta, St. John, a Catholic military order, headquartered in Jerusalem until 1291, Rhodes in 1310 to 1522, and Malta 1530 to 1798, and St. Petersburg 1799 to 1801. Orders of St. John and the Sovereign Military Order of Malta, and the most venerable was Johann der Order. Johanna ter Order in Netherlands and Johann ter Order e Sverige, S-V-E-R-I-G-E. So they were enacted to protect the Holy Land, just like the Knights Templar energy. The Knights were divided at the Protestant Reformation, where the Hospitallers and the Knights Templar were the most formidable military orders in the Holy Land. Frederick Barbarossa, the Holy Roman Emperor, pledged his protection to the Knights of St. John in the Charter of Privileges of 1185. So then the pictures of some of their symbols came up, which is the Maltese cross, which is very similar to the Iron Cross that just came up in my reads this past week. So it comes up with a black background with the Iron Cross, but they kind of look like hearts instead of the Celtic cross type of typical cross, right? So it's up and down in a cross, just like a normal cross, like the Celtic cross, but they look like hearts because they actually have a V on the one side, on the outer side of the cross. So anyway, you can look up the Maltese cross if you want to see it. And it had a black background with a white cross, and then the red cross symbol also came up on the background of red, very similar to what the Red Cross looks like. I don't know if there's a relationship there. but I was getting major connection right there at 318 yesterday. And then the Sultan in Egypt ended up targeting that group in 1444. And then after World War II, an Italian who called himself a Polish prince traded Maltese crosses as the Grand Priory of Modolia until they got prosecuted for fraud. So in this group, the lead was the Grand Master, the two were the Grand Command, and the third was the Marshal. And then the island of Evia came up before I closed out. So of course my name is Ev, so I looked up Evia. It's the second largest Greek island linked to mankind, or the mainland, excuse me, by 2 bridges. So here's the twin bridges coming up again. And Evia is actually the 16th island. And then how was this 257 number related in here? I was trying to figure that out. Well, there was a header here that came up from the Greek government, news.sky.com, where 257 euros, or I don't know, I guess it's euros, 257,000 euros was offered as a reward to catch the killers on May 11th this year, 21. Somebody strangled a British mother, age 20, in their Athens home. 3 men broke in, her husband in bed and an 11-month-old in Athens, Greece. And so 257,000 was offered. So here comes that 257 again. It also came up in a header about math, with 257 being a prime. F4 equals 216 plus 1 equals 65,537. So I don't know what that means, but for you math people, it might mean something to you. And this is all from Wikipedia. And then wealthformula.com came up with 257, and the question was, do you have the pandemic blues? From Dr. Wade, PhD of marriage and family therapist and life coach here. So you might want to check out his website. So then 257, I looked it up in the Gematria, and the first entry is God's real, and it's REA together, and then L was on the next line. God's real was the first entry for 257. The second entry was December is sign, and I always tell you he comes up as his birth date is December. The third entry was confident, and then the light, Pisces, Galt, hello George, open coin, reborn, the force, Alfonso, and the last one I recorded was Mastema, because Masty comes up for me all the time, but Mastiff came up the other day for me, the dog. So I was looking up Mastema, and then that comes up as Satan. So Mastema comes up and is defined as the angel who persecutes evil in the Book of Jubilees. That their job is to tempt and test your faith as humans as his job for God. The angel of disaster, the father of all evil, and a flatterer of God, said to be a fallen angel, which is the Satan. One part of spirits could stay with, well, when he asked if he could bring everybody with him, he said one part of the spirits could stay with him, but the other 9 would have to be condemned. So Mastim, or Satan, the high fill, so there's just other variations of the word. So Mastim and then Satum, S-T-O-M, equals one who is adverse, or your adversary. Mastim is subservient to God, and their job is to tempt men into sin and then come before God with what they've learned, right? To give up the people who have sinned. So we go back to the read then, as the outgoing divine masculine is the Wheel of Fortune, the Hanging Man, and the Queen of Wands, destined to hang out with the Queen of Wands, Star, or Middle East drama queen, to guide her away from there. So it's like trying to distract someone so they can get them away from dealing with somebody else. Someone's getting distracted to sneak someone else out of there or astray. And then the Divine Feminine came up with the signs of Cancer and Aries, the King of Swords and the King of Pentacles. The Divine Masculine came up with Libra, Capricorn or Pisces, and Aquarius, along with the Queen of Wands. And between the masculine and feminine is the Knight of Pentacles with an offer of love, or something practical, but it is an offering with a big crystal in their hand. So keeping the Queen of Wands or red away so a proposal can be made without interference. So this union read came up with the number 43, which is about coming together. The horizontal lines came up as 11, 7, and 25, which is Justice, the Chariot, and the Knight of Wands. And then 40, 11 just came up, which is the Page of Cups and Justice. The vertical pillars came up as 9, 1, 11, 22. And the message came out as Justice of the trip with the Knight of Wands to socialize and be in joy. And then the other way was coming up as the Hermit and the Magician and the Justice of the leap of faith in order for them to come together and enjoy. Okay. So again, very significant, the Mastiff and the Mastema, those energies. Masta or Masti also can represent, getting a mastectomy. It also can represent being one of two. And we're talking about the twin bridges here, okay, which came up multiple times this week. And actually, yeah, there's some twin bridges that were coming up on a map I was just looking at as well. So 414 is when we cut the SIRIAN Starseed deck for the read in front of you. The 4 of the Emperor, the 14 of the Temperance card, the patience and balance and the angels and the higher love. At 423, which 23 is the King of Wands, of crystals, which is Christ-like, or cry stalls, or being on the crying or purging path, and stalls was also coming up. So there's someone stalling, which I just was giving you that little shuffle about someone trying to shuffle some away so they could deal with somebody else. So there's that kind of energy there. I finished clarifying at 436, which is the Emperor and the Atlas energy, the 10 of Wands, the weight of the world upon your shoulders. And the major arcana here were the Chariot, Ascension, which is the world, Reflection, the Hermit, and Abundance, which is the Empress. Before the read with the Hanging Man, and after the read, Luna or the Moon and Justice came up. We had 2 swords, 1 wand, 4 pentacles, and the only court card in this read was the Page of Pentacles. Before the read, we had the Page of Swords, the Queen of Wands, and the Page of Wands. And after the read, we had the Knight of Cups. But we had all 4 twos in this read, you guys. All 4 twos. Very much that feminine energy of one-on-one and of mediation. And then the 44 of the mastering, grounding, and integrating of love. And 89 also came up, which is the Phi energy, expanding and contracting and staying at 0 point. Expanding yourself and then coming back to center again. Staying in the present moment. 4 twos, 2 fours, and 89, and in a lesser sense, the number 6 of the lovers and love, family, community. We also had the code line being the number 14 of the Temperance card after I cut the deck at 414. The 14 came from 4, 8, and 2. And the other numbers that came up here were 214, which is Valentine's Day. And then the 4 twos, the 44, the 89, but also 24 of the Queen of Wands, 48 of the 8 of Cups, walking away within, the 46 of the 6 of Cups, of the children hugging each other, and then the 68 of the Page of Pentacles. So the messages here from this code line today regarding compassion and intuition was all about suffering in silence, the sister, and that's funny because I watched Sister Act last night with my son, which he brought to me. I didn't choose it. So Sister Act, the sister, nuns may be coming up as a sister, but also suffering in silence with the TV or telepathic vision to see the 4 of stability or the Emperor of the Ascension world, the 8 of the strength, inner and outer strength, but also the dance being key to abundance of 2, of compassion and intuition. I am that I am between 2 Sophias or sisters, or suffering in silence, safety and security, the SS Minnow and the SS Third Reich, and telepathic vision of the 4 or the Emperor of the Ascension world, the strong, the dance key of the Empress too. It's like bringing together the polarities. The Sophia is the TV set, the TV series, with the bunny ears, right? Her connection to the higher realms. Or the radar up for the 4 or the Emperor of the world, or the Pisces, or the Ascension. The dance between the ascension world and abundance, Pisces and or Taurus, key to compassion and intuition. Also, the cyst came up. So people may be dealing with cysts right now, but cyst is just an infection, right? It's a bubble. A creation, asthma's coming up here as well. So there's a lot of physical purges being done right now. The cyst creation may be something good. It's actually healing you from whatever they took out of your body. And so allow it to heal. And then asthma may be related to that for someone. The urine is also related here. Someone may actually know of some cure with urine, that they drink the urine actually to cure something. Also, the ass was coming up here regarding sense or senses, a public census or tax as well, on the number 8 or the dance or the strong-arming key or just the 8 key or the 80. So I was getting 80 and 8, and 80 minus 8 is 72, which is the 2 by 2s of the 144,000. There's 80 or abundance of transmutation, and I always tell you that abundance for me comes up as a BUN dance, which is the transmutation of the kidneys function, and the abundant twins using their compassion and their intuition. Abundance above karma. I was just getting the chasm as well. So we have the 80 less 8, the 72 marching, and then the suffering in silence, or the sister TV, like Sister Act that I saw last night. Unable to breathe, which is coming up around asthma. You are is saying, if you are suffering in silence, or in other words, purgatory, going through the purge, the 4D bridge, and you have telepathic vision, and you're unable to breathe, you are of the ascension, the 72 abundant twins of compassion and intuition, compassionate intuitives, or in other words, the twin census. That was your message. The 9 of Swords reversed is the underlying energy. Beneath the underlying energy here, with the clarifiers on top and going 5 cards down, from the lowest card up, the Page of Swords reversed, the Hanging Man upright, the Queen of Wands upright, the 2 of Cups upright, and the Page of Wands reversed, and then the 9 of Swords reversed on top, which is all about trying to end the stress and the nightmare, and that could be literally nightmare, as in dream nightmare, ending the sleepless nights, ending the purging at night or the crying, and then perhaps bad news or ban news, and perhaps a ban came out, negative self-talk or rumors of hanging out. The Queen of Wands upright, but the Page of Wands is reversed here. Suffering in silence or hanging out with a younger sister perhaps. Insecure with the King of Pentacles, or unable to manifest and hiding behind the King of Pentacles, perhaps with a hostage or him feeling imprisoned. Home suffering in silence, or again with your sister, before hitting the road at 5:02. The Hierophant and the High Priestess. Transporting prisoner, so this could literally be a prisoner being transported to another facility or coming out, or to prison, or one with anxiety and fear. Home lacking tools, stressed over the King of Pentacles, roughshotting over their captor. And I was getting the movie 2000 Death Race, which was they made all these killing machine cars to kill people, and people were assigned points, and of course babies were valued the most, and old people had the least value. And so when the hospital wanted to get rid of some of their patients, they'd put them out in the street. It was supposed to be like a kind of a spoof around that, but 2000 Death Race came up here. Grounding and integrating the King of Swords, bored, being strong, or with Leo, pet, or child, on the road, ending pain, bleeding out with the World reversed, or Pisces reversed, perhaps a girl with their period, or Divine Feminine in the 5D, causing him to bleed out. Taking the show on the road in a painful end, or painful check around the neighborhood, or rounds around the neighborhood, or someone drowned, betrayal or feeling fenced in. The gate was left wide open, but pets are still here. So why is the gate open? Access to the new world. The chariot is ready. third-party angel is sharing with Blockhead in the 8th note dance being key. World upside down, moving in retrograde motion. The Florida Keys may come up here too. Moving in retrograde motion to create and gain momentum to push us through the cotton candy, the light blue and yellow. Gabriel at hand to mediate and settle out while things are slow, one step at a time, perhaps a purge or two on the way at 512, which is the Hierophant, and the Hanging Man. And there's a relationship to Gabriel's role and Satan's role, okay? Because Gabriel's the speaker of the house, right? They speak for God. And then Satan's the one who's supposed to tempt the humans to make sure they stay in line. So it's like they're all answering to God, right? We have the 5:13 to 14. So here's the 13th to the 14th. As I was doing this yesterday on the 14th, which is the Death card and the angels, and then reconciliation, and beneath that, separation. So crazy, hangry, magician reversed, ready to cut a mother, the injustice of nothing healthy around. So, like someone who's really hungry going to the kitchen and not finding anything healthy to eat. Strong-arming Leo under palms, wrestling a pet, or WWF, or Miami, or not fair that she's in Florida or California and he can't eat cake, the harsh truth of surgery or abuse, and hospitalization, or deviant sexual behaviors, with 2 lovers or a Gemini here. Gemini and Virgo and Libra all reversed, but then Leo and Gemini also upright here. Perhaps on vacation, or to the plastic surgeon, or this is like one of those really high-class spas where you get plastic surgery and then you have the nursing facility afterwards, which is really foo-foo. That's definitely energy I was getting here. The plastic surgeon spa, recovering like the stars, or forcing the boar to drink the water, or undergo a major surgery, whether they like it or not, or arrested, or the gift of arrest, or being cuffed to the bed unwillingly, or this is for your own good, someone is saying. Getting a child or 2 also to do what is best for them. Or a man with 2 lovers, or who tackles him, and where one tackles him and the other one's sweet and pure, or daughters where one is too sweet and one is too salty, or getting in shape for the summer ahead, or perhaps just dad and the girls, or older sister and boyfriend took the younger sister with them to have some sun and fun. Nip, tuck, sun, fun. Or worried if your kids hang out with them, they're going to do what they want to do too. So somebody might be worried about their kids hanging out with the older sister or a certain person. Leadership comes up with number 81, which is the completion of karma. And beneath that was parenting in 63, which is that suffering in silence and trying to end the nightmare. And this could be parenting your kids, it could be parenting your parents, it could be parenting yourself. Judgment upright, Page of Wands upright. Starting this off here with an announcement inspiring, but depressed about having to keep their cards close to their chest. The lovers sharing or settling out with the Queen of Cups reversed, or Hotel California, and the Divine Masculine holding the Divine Feminine up above the money grubber so they can't get their hands on her. Or the Divine Masculine giving or settling out, the Divine Masculine longing, and both thinking about lovers in pink waters with dolphins surrounding them at twilight. Aquarius, both upright and reversed. Gemini upright here, or depressed Aquarius tooting their own horn, trying to inspire themselves to get out of there. The Queen of Cups is reversed, suffering in silence with the world upside down, or dealing with their sister, in a retrograde and twist of fate with lover of 2 in a leadership role, and again the number 81, which is the end of karma around the world. The most underlying energies here is the Knight of Wands, the Chariot, and the Four of Swords, all 3 reversed. As the player falls short, or the Knight of Wands is paralyzed by their passions, frozen, stuck, fight or flight, unable to sleep, or awake and coming out. Poor judgment, going forward after this read, holding back an announcement or call, deliberating, the King of Wands reversed, presenting the truth as the Knight of Pentacles to the Six of Cups, kids or twin, to travel to peace, overworked or not working out, The star, healing, dreams come true, as the Knight of Cups offers love in a twist or shift with issues at work with the Empress reversed and the Queen of Pentacles upright, perhaps with Capricorn in their chart, or detoxing chaos with the Page of Pentacles reversed, so that could be mother and child, hanging out healing after leaving the Emperor upright and the King of Pentacles upright with Sovereign reversed, which can be a wife or dependent, or grown kids keeping an eye on their parent for them, or an uncle or a grandparent, being left with the kids to watch them, at 538, which is the Hierophant and the Queen of Cups. So recently is the 539, the Hierophant and the Knight of Cups, the Four of Wands upright, the home of the wounded warrior, kids back and forth or traveling peacefully, away from or with Pisces reversed, or the Divine Feminine in the 5D, perhaps carpooling with the Knight of Wands, rushing in to save the day, or just look good, but they don't actually provide any support when they come in. Withholding, living in the past, or looking back at the Knight of Swords, rushing in with a message about injustices and recovering from exile, destitution, illness, or injury. Death and ending, dark night of the soul, or transition, or Scorpio with options, and shopping or seeing synchronicities, and giving keys to end the nightmare of the past returning, or the nightmare of girlfriends past, and the foundation here being the reflection of the Hermit with the light, the Two of Cups being upright, with the Ten of Pentacles reversed and the Three of Pentacles reversed, the secret passion amidst the home and work dysfunction or loss, arguing, delays, heated exchange, everything exposed, or a child running naked in the yard. 632, the Lovers and the Journey, the central energy being the Chariot upright, boldly moving forward, upward. Up, up and away. I was just getting in my beautiful balloon, so that was coming up again. Nowhere with Atlas and the weight and the world, working hard to stay satisfied with the Queen of Cups upright and the happy family and or emotional fulfillment and reaping rewards of being in their truth and presenting it now here. The wounded warriors burdened by the messenger of truth and their injustice, both recovering from destitution and challenged by the upside down world of ascension, social distancing, bad influences, gossip, third parties, and knowing or unaware. Connecting in 5D, the Six of Cups kids or twins, receiving love from the Page of Cups star, dream girl, healer, or Aquarius. Ending pain or painful end and betrayal, or a pain in the ass, holding on and grounding and saving, being more moderate, with an ending, death, dark night, or transition in sight, and facing their worst fears, shining light no matter what, healing and forgiving, energetic vampiring, stealing and cheating, and the Page of Cups unable to express their emotions, overwhelmed at home or in union, the patient angel or of a higher love, the Queen of Swords upright, sharing or settling out with the Hierophant or Taurus, religion or establishment, traditions or institution and commitments to home and family. And now at 643, the Lovers and the Three of Cups coming together or reunion, and that can be social hour as well. The Two of Swords is upright, floating on air, with the Emperor tripping up or dropping the act, and solving problems, breaking patterns, seeing synchronicities and choices as the Knight of Pentacles going home, to the Queen of Cups reversed, knowing you are free from the drama of the King of Wands reversed, or the sexual connection that sets you free, but the King of Wands reversed has a sudden jealous rage of the Emperor, or the King of Wands reversed is doing this behind the Emperor's back, with the Hermit shedding light about walking away from the Queen of Wands at the new moon, or from her deception, or she snuck out before dawn. 647, the Emperor's upright, keeping her quiet about the downturn, the slowdown, or the twist of the market or fate, or females with issues with Atlas, weight, and world, or caught with their pants down in the weeds or in the woods. Healing to open up and tell the Knight of Wands, rescuing to sweep them off their feet and take their breath away, or bring them to a child who's in need of their help. Soon here is the Eight of Pentacles reversed, overworked, underpaid, not working out, trying to communicate solely through 5D, so that might not be enough. The King of Swords upright, seeing synchronicities or seeing the one, or getting help with that. Being strong, taming the beast, or letting the pet or Leo be patient and wait. Hanging out, not working with the Page of Wands reversed. Frustrated, dumping, crying, or throwing up. Pushed to the limit, getting the pressure out by working out, sports, or fighting, or boxing, choosing a different way to handle things. The twin flames seeing themselves as the Two of Pentacles reversed. No more surrender for now making a choice to love. The Knight of Cups offering love and holding back an announcement or call, and instead doing it in person to render them speechless, powerless, and willing to put out. Worried the Queen of Swords will talk to the Queen of Pentacles before they have a chance to, and the Queen of Pentacles defenseless to the energies of cleaning up their act or the cleaning cyclone about to invade their space. So someone who's, ADD or type A personality regarding having clean houses may all of a sudden come into their space. The Tasmanian Devil was coming up here, about to whirl through without asking their permission. Okay, so somebody could come in and make a mess or come in and clean up the place, whether you like it or not. Pay attention to the red flags. Passion, engagement, and worth waiting for all came up here. Around the twins are how they're seen as the Four of Crystals. The Divine Masculine's heart in the Batcave, back on the horse, heading forward or toward the Page of Pentacles and the Page of Swords, both reversed, to help them recover with the King of Cups reversed, perhaps conditions, or they're giving conditions of this, like I'm not coming back to deal with you guys unless you do certain things. The block here being abundance reversed, so a lack of abundance. No mother, lack consciousness, and the Page of Wands reversed. A pressure cooker, always charged, crying or ready to fight. Intuition comes up here, compassion, but even more so, nature. So use nature, let things happen naturally. The third in pain, leaving food on the floor, sending a message with energy, no longer obsessing about that or trying to cut cords or hair, so no longer obsessing. The 703 coming up as the Chariot and the Empress, and the Page of Pentacles reversed, who's coming up as not being curious or void of ambition. The Knight of Wands always to the rescue, helping Taurus or the religious leader or the establishment or marriage and home. The Empress reversed and the Hierophant upright, which can be the same person, or Taurus stuck taking care of the mother reversed and the child reversed, or Planned Parenthood. That's so weird because in our conversation this morning, Planned Parenthood came up again. Taking care of the mother and child, so this could be a place for young mothers, or Planned Parenthood literally, at the new moon, or deception, or up before dawn, sliding into home base, and this could be a young teenager or something sneaking out so nobody knows where they're going, perhaps to go get an abortion or to check out information about having a baby and no one knows they're pregnant yet. But lovers or Gemini heading or healing by offering help to detox chaos, perhaps for a younger sibling or young partner, knowing something and keeping to themselves, or pure and grounding, integrating an offer of love and new passion, growth, and creativity to help somebody else out at 707. And that could be two vehicles here with the 707. Also could be the Two of Pentacles with the 7. So again, not giving up their decisions to someone else, making their own decisions for this. The Knight of Cups in injustice, finding peace with twin flame. And the Nine of Swords, again, suffering in silence, or the sister or a nun, perhaps with kids or parenting and reflecting their choices in the Divine Masculine's heart in the Batcave. So again, with the Planned Parenthood or the nun coming up, there's definitely pregnancy issues coming up, and someone learning to be sovereign and make their own decisions. Like they can get all the advice in the world, but the final decision is always up to the individual. Don't give your power away. Don't let someone convince you one way or the other. It's your choice. Reflecting chaos choices in the Divine Masculine's heart in the Batcave. The home with Chariot revved up, and the challenge being the world incomplete or almost done, the cycle of overwork, and the Empress reversed, needy or mean, gone or in lack, floating and knowing the Page of Pentacles reversed needs help. Getting up early and not deceiving at the new moon, or by Cancer season, which is coming up soon. The Knight of Cups is upright, unfair. To do that to them, they deserve peace and a choice from their own perspective. And again, this could be all of those issues regarding parents and their children and what they're allowed or not allowed to do. And then of course, the church and then Planned Parenthood getting involved, and that no one has the right to decide for you except for you. And I'm not giving an opinion for me either way. This is the information that's coming up in the read. The Page of Swords reversed, mouthing off, hanging out, with the Queen of Wands upright and the Page of Wands reversed, who get along perhaps better. This could be a child jealous that the mother and the other child get along better, or they just need the mother more. And the Page of Wands reversed is coming up as suffering in silence at home, or the sister, with the Queen of Cups reversed, reflecting, or hermit with the car or traveling. And this could be someone stuck home taking care of all the children while the partner is traveling. Ascending, or Virgo and Cancer in chart, and challenged by the World reversed. Pisces reversed, or the Divine Feminine in the 5D, knowing and floating on air, deciding to take off from work perhaps, with the Page of Pentacles reversed, or the Divine Masculine's heart in the Batcave, with the Empress reversed and the Page of Pentacles reversed, which can be a mother or grandmother or aunt and a child, or thinking about loss or issues with the Empress and the Page of Pentacles, or a miscarriage of a child, or injustice or justice before dawn, or at the new moon, the Knight of Cups gushing over Libra reversed, or the Knight of Cups with Cancer and Libra in chart, and moving to peace with Twin, or their choice of path at 716, which is the Chariot and the Tower. And also I wanted to let you know Laura Eisenhower's video with Matthew. Definitely watch that. He's amazing to listen to. He's loaded with information. Matthew Mornian on Laura Eisenhower's channel. Check it out. He talks about heavy metal detox, Qigong, and lots of other stuff. Rife technology came up in the talk. So yeah, definitely check it out. And energy work too, with energy medicine and the different meridians and focusing on the energy meridians. Okay, so we're going to pull a few cards here. I'm going to roll the die for you to see what comes up today for the Twin Flames. All right, so we have the number 4, okay, which came up a lot in the read with the Emperor and stability, building, structure, all those kind of energies. We have Taurus as well, which is very structured sign, and the Bull, but they can also be stubborn. And then we have the South Node, which I think the North Node's in Gemini still right now, is it? And then that would make the South Node in Aquarius. So South Node in Aquarius, perhaps letting an Aquarius go, right? Because the South Node is what you've already dealt with and you're letting it go. Taurus upright and Aquarius in the South Node. And the number 4 about finding stability and structure, and the Emperor. So let's see what the animal deck has to say here. Deep breath. Okay, let's go here. So for the Twin Flames, what's our takeaway today? Oh, that flipped right over in the deck here. The Camel again. I don't think any others flipped out. I was going to do the only one. Yeah. All right, so the Camel, very independent. Again, it's all about the sovereignty that came up in the read. That might be a message for you. You may be allergic to something, or allergies are acting up. So we have the Camel. I'll read that to you. The bottom is the Beaver. So the underlying energies of the Beaver and the Earthworm, who likes, gets scared easily. So, getting intimidated by other people and letting other people making choices for you is definitely coming up during the read. Feeling all innocent and, oh, I don't know. And then here's someone being very independent, not telling them what to do, They're trying to let them figure it out on their own, okay? Because the camel's already very independent. So let's see what the beaver says here. And that's coming up underwater. Where are you, beaver? Hard worker, loyal, tireless, and family first. The beaver personality is a welcomed sight. These good-natured and dependable creatures have infinite love and enthusiasm for family and express it by way of the earth element, providing a home and financial stability. Although a beaver doesn't usually initiate a project, once started, they'll work steadily for weeks, months, or years to see it through, which is very much Taurus energy, which was coming up for you. The beaver card appears when the task at hand requires your long-term, steady effort. It can also signify that it's a time for some karma yoga or selfless service. When in balance, they're happy and do meaningful work. When they're out of balance, they feel useless and worn out. To bring yourself back into balance, physical labor and selfless service for the beaver. He's a hard worker, loyal, tireless, and family first. And then we have the camel, which is fire. It's been coming up a lot this week, the camel. Camel's resourceful, independent, and knows oneself. The camel can handle absolutely anything as it carries a wealth of nourishment within. This wondrous creature is self-reliant and handles challenge with ease. Even in the face of excess heat, or in other words, judgment or anger, the camel searches inside for the cool elixir of water to calm the situation. The camel represents the ultimate form of bringing opposites into balance, fire and water and transmutation, and being responsible for one's own reactions. The camel is a wonderful traveler and is especially fond of trips to faraway lands. When they're in balance, they're calm, content, and have a sparkle in their eye. When they're out of balance, they're dehydrated and lack vitality. So a pilgrimage is then in order to come back into balance, but also drink water. So people may definitely be going on a pilgrimage. It's like this one's going on a pilgrimage and this one's holding the fort down. So perhaps going separate ways, or just one has to stay home with the kids and the other one's going to travel. So let's see what the journey of love says. Yellow and green are coming up right now. Yellow and green, that's very much nature and grass. All right, we have sacred convergence of the 28. 28 is the twins. Also, the 28th of the month could be significant for you. A sacred convergence, that's a significant date for me, but it's also the twins, choosing a new path. And just for a moment, joy, the 46 of coming together, perhaps children or just your inner child coming out to play. Just for a moment, joy. So it definitely could be time to get away here. Sacred convergence, and come together with some very significant people or places. Perhaps across the waters. 23 is the King of Wands. And the bottom of the deck here is Eruption of Light, which is the Hieros Gamos here. The 11 of Justice. And the point, this is point of 0 point, right? Where you manifest, the point of manifestation. And beneath it is the communal dance. Again, coming together in a circle. And it's funny because I was thinking about this. We have the egg in the middle, creating the birth of something by joining hands in a circle, the communal dance of the Hierophant, and committing to something. And the eruption in the middle of this, creating something here, a vortex. So very significant about coming together and being your inner child right now, okay? In a very profound way. Sacred convergence, choosing a new path, twin bridges, twin flames, and just for a moment, joy, very significant. And then across the waters, perhaps. So once you have this time, this is someone in the wall, right? Still in the cyclone, but half in the vortex as well. Still a part of other things, but also part of the 0 point. And she looks like she's waiting for the light, you know, to arrive, waiting for someone to show up. And this could be literally a mother waiting for a child to come home, running to each other in a mother-child hug. This could be a father as well. This could be a reunion of family, or just of a very high vibrational reunion. Before my father passed away, we had a dinner in honor for him, and boy, was The energy at that dinner, off the charts. I had all of these high vibrational physicians that my father had known, like from different areas of expertise. It wasn't just his area. They were like the top in their different fields, and they were, you know, the most kind people as well. The energy in that room that night was amazing. And I think that was in, I don't know, 2015 or 16. I can't remember exactly when it was, but he passed away in 2016. So that's the energy I'm getting of this convergence of coming together with high-minded souls, or, you know, high vibrational souls, and to really allow your inner child to come out. That someone's has just been waiting for that inner child to come out and play. So let's see what the Sacred Convergence 28 has to say for you. Okay, there's a coming together happening within your body and soul, a unification of all that is within you. It's akin to traveling to a strange land, as all sorts of new sensations, not all welcome at first, begin to make themselves known to you. If you're experiencing discomfort within your body or uncertainty, and a sense of expansion to include more of your life in your thoughts and feelings, then you are conscious of this sacred convergence. It is like two worlds or more colliding. If you're sensitive, you will feel it happening as an important event without necessarily having a physical situation to attribute the experience to, or upon which to hang an explanation. You may also be encountering this in a very physical sense by finding yourself in situations which you previously would have avoided. You may be meeting people and thrown into relationship with them, apparently more by circumstance than by your own choosing, consciously. This is a meeting of you with your shadow and something to rejoice in. Even if it's uncomfortable at times, be gentle and loving with yourself and kindly seek to find the beauty in what you are learning about yourself in your interactions and experiences. You are a wise soul, seeking to know yourself rather than judge others. Remember your divine perfection as you are thrilled and challenged in this time of great growth. You are guided to be curious, as though traveling to a foreign land and remaining open to experiencing its treasures. This oracle holds a message for you. A deeper part of yourself is calling you forward. Any discontent, struggle, anxiety, or fear is a subconscious recognition of this. Don't worry, you're a unique plant in the divine garden. You don't have to know what plant you are in order to grow. You just need to live each day, and the growth happens naturally. Then you can see over time the beauty of your true nature revealing itself to you. It will be a revelation to be relished. From the white foam on the surface of blue to the mystery beneath the waves, wherever your travels may lead, may the artist's touch inspire us to explore the ocean realm and celebrate the beauty as land gives way to water and water the unknown. Okay, and then this, the water meeting the land has been coming up all week, so that's a major theme here of the bridging together of land and sea. You know, bridging together the polarities. So make sure you drink your water, get your rest, get your joy in your nature, be good to yourselves and have fun. And most of all, rise and be loved, be good to yourselves. Bye.